Hello, everyone. Welcome to the episode 2 of the MCN guide. Today, you are stuck with me to begin with. This is an episode of myself alone. Unfortunately, we won't have Pooja for this one. And also today, we are not gonna talk too much about Marketing Cloud next, but we're gonna talk a lot about Data Cloud. Why Data Cloud? Because it is kind of the underlying system that merges the data from Salesforce CRM and your other sources and make it available to Marketing Cloud next. If you're using, for example, Salesforce CRM, Sales Cloud, you have contacts, you have leads, you have accounts, you have to make all that data available to marketing. So contacts and leads must become one object only, so they can all be targeted by your campaigns. Of course, you want to know which ones are already contacts, which are leads, but they have to become available to your systems. And to do that, we use Data Cloud. Once you get Marketing Cloud Max from your Salesforce team, you get also Data Cloud, or at least Data Cloud for Marketing Cloud. And it's usually already set up for you, so you don't have to worry too much about setting it up. Have to do a few things. Add licenses is one of them. So if you're a Salesforce admin, you'll be able to do that. But if you go to your permission set, you'll see that you have Data Cloud Activation Manager, Data Cloud Activation Specialist, Data Cloud Architect, and Data Cloud User here. These two are for integrations. And the admin one would be the Data Cloud Architect, who is able to view everything and to set up and to do all the admin work on Data Cloud. Then you have the manager at the second tier that can manage basically all the data inside of Data Cloud. Then you have the specialist, and finally the user, who has view-only access. You can really understand the difference between the levels here. So you can see Architect has everything in Data Cloud. The Activation Manager can manage your overall segmentation strategy, creating active targets and activations. The Activation Specialist then can only create, they can not activate the segments, and the Data Cloud user can only view the Data Cloud data. It cannot change, create, manage anything. So these are the 4 permission sets. And whenever you start using Data Cloud, you have to assign one to yourself and to your team. So really understand which one is the best. You also have to create your data spaces. So right now, for example, we just have one data space, the default one. And you can think of the data space as a segmentation of your data. Your Data Cloud will still be one, but your data spaces is how you really manage the output of the data. So the data will come in from raw sources like the CRM, the website, and then it will go out to different places, and those places are the way that they go out are managed by the data spaces. So you can have, for example, data spaces for regions. You can have one for North America, LATAM, EMEA, APAC. And because of that, the teams can treat the data different, segment the data differently, and create different campaigns. And they don't have to have access to all their data spaces. So the North America team only have access to the North America data space, while the APAC team only have access to the APAC data space. So you can work like that. In our case, we just have one, the default data space. You can also set up different data sources. So for example, you can connect Salesforce organization. So in our case, we only have one, but you can connect Marketing Cloud engagement, Marketing Cloud personalization, B2C commerce, website and mobile app. You can use the API. There are a bunch of different connections to start bringing the data in here. I'm going to talk a bit more on how to connect the CRM and the website. Here we already have our CRM connected, but if you had to connect one, you would click here on new, create a Salesforce org, and follow the steps in here, and the connection alias, and then you would have to connect with your Salesforce itself to start the connection there and keep going to this process. Usually the CRM connection already comes in by default, so you don't have to worry about it. But in case you have to do it, that's what you would do. And we're going to talk about the website in a later video. And well, then after you have the access, you're connecting to your Salesforce CRM. You have to install some data kits for marketing, but we're going to talk about that in the Marketing Cloud setup. I just wanted to give a quick overview of how it looks then in your data cloud. So this is your data cloud instance. You can see here that you have data model, data lake objects, data streams, Data Explorer, Einstein Studio. There are many different places that you can go in here for working with Marketing Cloud within Data Cloud. I'm gonna focus on the basics. So first, data lake objects. Data lake objects, you can think of them as the raw data that comes from your different sources. So for example, accounts. Accounts are coming from your CRM every single day. They are connected here. They are coming in as a raw data that you cannot use in any sort of activation. You can see here the data streams that is connected to it, because this data stream is connecting the data lake object with data model objects. So the data lake is how your raw data come in. The data stream is mapping it to data model entities. That's how your data comes out. So you can see here you have the account home data lake object, and the account description, for example, is mapping to the account description, and the account object as a data model object. The data model object is the output. What is the real difference here? Sometimes you're pointing some things from the account, for example, for the contact point address or the contact point phone. So you're not matching only account to account, but account to other things. And then it becomes even more clear if we start looking to the individual object. Why? Because the individual object is the one that we're gonna work with inside of Marketing Cloud. We are not going to use leads or contacts, but one object that unifies everything. So we have to transform first contacts and leads into individuals, and then we have to deduplicate those individuals to be working with them. So if we come here, for example, for let's see, contact. Review our data mapping here. You'll be able to see a few interesting things. At the same time, let me open this and go through the lead object here. So you can see here that the contact is first mapped to the account contact data model. So this is connecting account and contact point address, contact point email, and most importantly, the individual. The individual is going to be the person that we're going to work with within the Marketing Cloud campaigns. And if you say, okay, I wanted to map pronouns, or pronouns already mapped here, but suffix not mapped with the individual. I could have here a field called suffix. Let's use, for example, birthplace, very random, is if I wanted to map the suffix with the birthplace, I could do it like this. I connect both of them, and you can see now that they are both mapped. But I don't really want this to happen, so I can delete this connection. So this is how you map the contact to the individual. And if you go here to the lead object, you'll see something very similar. The lead object is being connected with a bunch of different things, but also with the individual object. It's also being mapped to the contact point address, contact point email, contact point phone, identity match, but also individual. And so we have individuals being created from contacts, we have individuals being created from leads. We know that we might have some leads and contacts that are duplicates. We have some leads that actually have been converted to contacts. So to don't have a bunch of duplicate individuals, you have the identity resolutions that do resolutions between individuals and also between accounts here. We're not going to go through them. In this video, we'll have actually a full video on identity matching, identity resolution. Just wanted to show that this exists. Also, another interesting place is the Data Explorer. You can, if you want to explore a specific object, you can come here and you can search for it, and you can have a good view of how it works, the column it has. You can see a few of your accounts. So it is a good way to explore your data. There are many other different places that are interesting in the data cloud. So for example, we have segmentation, we have activation targets, we have activations. We're not going to tackle that in this video. This is more of an introduction of how data cloud works, but just for you to know, there is much more that you can investigate and learn inside of data cloud. So thank you for watching. I know that data cloud is one of the struggling concepts, I'd say, in terms of understanding how marketing cloud works. As marketers, we're usually not used to dealing with those complicated segmentations and terms and data lake and data streams and all those different areas. Setting up marketing cloud doesn't require you to fully understand those things, and even working with marketing cloud doesn't require you to fully understand those things. But having this initial concept that the data come in as data lake objects, it goes out as data model objects, and those two things are connected via data streams, will help you create more interesting objects, connecting your data and creating powerful ways to deliver your campaigns, create better segmentations, and all of that. At the end of the day, understanding identity resolutions is super important to understand how you avoid duplicates, how you can ensure your data is clean and you are delivering to the right audience. For me, I had to create, to be honest, like 3 different identity resolutions. I struggled a lot with the data streams in the beginning. There were some connections that were not making sense to me, but after a while, you start getting it. So don't be afraid to get your hands dirty. Go and start working, start trying to stitch your data. As I said, most of it comes already set up by default, but you can mess around. You can see how things work and really helps you grow an understanding. So thank you very much for watching, and I hope you can have an initial concept of what the data cloud is, and stay with us for our next videos that we're going to talk about marketing cloud setup and finally identity resolutions.